Hey guys, it is me, Jacqueline, for today's video. I have a non-spoilery book review for Reverie, and this is by Lauren E. Rico. I was actually sent this book in exchange for an honest review by the author herself, so thank you so incredibly much. I really actually found myself flying through this book. It was so entertaining, so gripping. It is a new adult book that sort of deals with very serious topics, and it seems like it's going to go in one direction and then completely flips and twists and turns, and it was just so entertaining. It was almost like watching one of those like soap opera TV shows but in book form, and I really enjoyed it. I was really happy with this read. I know the second book, a part of this series, is already out, which is awesome. I definitely need to pick that one up because this ending sort of left you a little bit wanting more. Anyway, let's talk about the pros and cons and what this book is about. So what exactly is this book about? In this book, we follow our main character named Julia. Julia is the kind of girl that really doesn't like to be the center of attention. She would rather be in the back, and she has such a strong passion for playing the cello. Like I said, she doesn't really like to be in the center of attention, and she really only has her best friend named Matthew, who's also her roommate, but somehow things start happening and she starts to interact more with this guy named Jeremy, who's very opposite of her. His personality is very strong, he's charismatic, and he's full of himself in the retrospect that he's different from Julia, in the fact that Julia would rather be in the background while he would rather be in the front. So they start interacting, and that's really where our story takes off, and I don't think I want to say anything else because, like I said, this book really takes you in and goes on this journey with these characters. It's extremely entertaining, nerve-biting, just things sort of twist and turns, and I really just appreciated how I wasn't expecting things to happen, and I really enjoyed the fact that Lauren sort of took this story and made it into something else, and I was just really shocked by the direction that we went into and how everything progressed. Like I said, there is a second book that I'm definitely into picking up because I really did enjoy this first one. So the fact this book did surprise me is a huge pro, and another huge pro was the fact this book was just utterly entertaining. I found that I not only wanted to read more to find out what was going to happen next because it surprised me, but I was pretty much wanting to read it because it was just so much fun to read, which sounds really weird because there are serious topics in this book, but like I said, this reminds me almost of a soap opera being turned into a new adult book. It was just very dramatic and intense, and I just could not put it down, which is just such an awesome feeling. Now, the main reason I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars instead of a 4 out of 5 stars or a 5 out of 5 stars was because certain values about this book were just okay. I did not hate anything about this book. It wasn't that. It was just they felt not flat, that's not the right word I'm looking for. It's just like they weren't amazing, or they weren't my favorite characters, or it wasn't my favorite writing. Specifically when it comes to the writing, it was actually fine. I tend to seem to not really mind writing. I don't really focus on writing too much. When there's beautiful writing, I will claim to that. But for books like these, I actually appreciate when the writing style is a little bit more simpler, since there's a lot going on plot-wise that if you did have really intense writing, it might take away from the whole plot. So I did actually appreciate that. But what I thought to be okay, and this is a huge point for me, is characters. Now, certain characters I had a lot of emotion towards, whether it be hate or whether I was upset, anything like that. I did have emotion towards certain characters, but specifically with our main character, Julia, I liked her, but I didn't love her. So it was hard for me to give this book a 4 to 5 stars when I only liked the main character. Maybe if I continue on with this series, I will start really liking her more and more. It was just certain things that she said or did that sort of made me cringe a little bit, but besides that, there were moments that I did feel for her. So it's sort of this hard thing, and that's why I think 3 out of 5 stars, maybe even a 3.5 out of 5 stars really reflects this book well for me personally, just because, Like I said, I didn't hate anything, but there were just certain things that were just okay. Like I did mention, there are really intense moments or very serious topics that are brought up, and I think that Lauren actually handled it really well. Like I said, with Julia specifically, I didn't hate her, but there were moments that I actually did feel for her. And even though she wasn't my favorite main character, I couldn't help but feel just something towards her character. And I think that's really amazing, the fact that Lauren could do that, make me feel for a character that I don't really love, but I can't help but feel something. So I do have to say, the more intense or serious topics that are brought up, I thought were handled very well. I do want to see where the second book takes us, because I don't want to say that the cliffhanger is a bad one, because I don't think it is. It just left me wanting more. So I'm definitely into picking up the second book. I will leave the Goodreads link for this book down below in the description box if you want to find out more of a better summary or other people's reviews. Yet again, thank you so much to Lauren for sending me this book. That is all I have to say for this book, guys. Let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of my review, or if you decide to pick up this book, what you thought of it. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!